Welcome back to Kitchen 143. I'm your host, Michelle Aventajado, and as we are out and about now all over the metro, we have been having so much fun exploring different restaurants, different bars, different places that you can come out and have some fun with your family and your friends. This evening, in our new primetime slot at 8 p.m., we're here at Somm's table. Here in Bolano, Makati. I'm sitting next to chef, sommelier, and owner, Antoine Raphael Gries, and we're so excited to be welcomed into his place. We are in a restaurant speakeasy, kind of French-inspired vibe here. Antoine, tell us what you want us to know when you enter Somm's, what you should feel.
The first thing when you enter Somm, for me, it's really the speakeasy side. You arrive, you have this bar that you see that's lightened but a little bit dim with these bricks that reminds you a little bit of underground New York, and I think the spirit is speakeasy is really prohibition. So I want to highlight that contrast of you've got that old bricks at the back, and then in front you've got all those bottles and with this big sofa just so you can arrive.
Right. So all the wines are there for you as well, which I know that's one of your passions. But beyond that, I know that the restaurant itself, it has a very artsy feel. You have a grand piano in the middle of the dining room. You have, reference to Dali. We have artists here, Brigitte Bardot, Marilyn Monroe. You're obviously an artist in many ways. Tell us about some of the other things that you enjoy or appreciate and would like to bring here to Somm.
I think I wouldn't go to artist. I mean, yes, I appreciate, and I try to do my share. I like art. I like, his passion. Food is also an art, music, etc. But at the end of the day, I really want to share culture. I think that one of the best things about Paris, where I come from, France, is that you have so many museums, so many places everywhere. There's history in the street, and that's something that you really miss, I feel, in Manila, where it's a very busy city with a lot of people. It's very efficient, and you forget about the time that you want to also be able to enjoy something to see in an afternoon.
Things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, even from going to see a movie. I mean, that's something as simple as that. Well, you'd like to see some maybe different movies, not all the same everywhere. So at the end of the day, I think it's important to bring things that are a little bit lacking sometimes, or maybe not lacking, but more not represented enough.
Yeah. Well, representation does matter. Of course, that's something you guys know I'm passionate about. I think it's interesting when you can bring the different cultures and, not just culture. Culture, of course, means arts, food, music, all of these different things. And I know, you and I were talking about how before we got on cam, how when you were younger, you also played the piano. And I asked, is that the inspiration why you have the grand in the middle? Do you imagine more musicians being able to play and, while people are dining as well?
Definitely. We're planning to have once a week where we have live musicians. So piano or an instrument, doesn't have to be piano every night, where every week we have this live representation of jazz, can be classical, can be a bit more edgy, depending, and having a little bit of fun with something that's live.
Right, while you're enjoying excellent food. So tell us about the menu. I know that we said it was French inspired, but using local ingredients is very important to you, and quality local ingredients. We mentioned, earlier the farm. Tell us about, how much that dictates the type of dishes that you serve.
Well, the first thing that dictates the type of dishes that we serve is availability and consistency. We have to work with suppliers, of course, for what we cannot produce ourselves, and even what we produce ourselves depends every day. We cannot. Sometimes you're gonna have a typhoon. You're gonna have problem with logistic. You have a million reasons why you cannot get all the time the ingredients you wish. So we have to decide what we're gonna get and how we're gonna get it. So we change our menu quite a lot, and we try to really go with the flow. We had some duck confit until there was the bird flu. Now the duck's quality is not so great.
That's my husband's favorite, yeah.
Thank you. Now we cannot, for obvious reasons. We have to really
Well,
limit, yeah. So
jumping off of that, the duck confit, how about the onions? How did that affect you? I mean, everybody was affected by this crisis.
So the onion is a very personal problem. So actually, I had a very interesting meeting just before that. So the one aiming the crisis of the onions was Amy Marcos. And basically, I met her like a week before. We dined 2 seats away, and we actually laughed about the dishes we were eating. And the thing is, 2 days after, we get this problem of onions, which I understand is a real issue, not specifically onion, but the illegal transportation of goods for a lot of reasons. And we started getting involved. So like, when I talked to her and said, like, what is going to be for onions? Say, there's enough onions in Philippines. It's not a problem about the onions itself. It's just the channels. So onions
it's a
for us.
Supply chain issue?
Yeah, apparently it's mostly a supply chain. People withholding, so the price can increase. And
oh my.
that's what she said. I have
don't know about that. Wow.
Yeah, anyway.
That's interesting. Okay.
Long story short, on the most personal,
right.
we were serving the onion soup inside the onion because we were getting these big white onions that are beautiful onion, like that's very nice, where we put the soup inside and the cheese on top. Looked amazing, and we're tired of bread because everybody does a bread bowl and etc. And we wanted to do something different. So we had to change. So now we serve it in a cast iron. We had to change. Yeah,
I saw photos of that. Obviously, I was researching about the menu. Some of the other parts of the menu, I was really intrigued. I think the nest was it the. I think that's one of your very popular dishes as well.
So that one also have a fun story about it. This was a creation we made in January 21. We were supposed to do some testing in Manila before opening the restaurant.
Right.
And the second big wave of COVID quarantine happened, where there was a lot of it. So all Manila was in lockdown. So we ended up going to a friend's place in Laguna. He was opening his restaurant, so he let me use his kitchen, and we were designing it. And we designed there because this place is called the Aviary. So it's about birds. Yes. And that's where the egg nest came from.
So your inspiration was just around you when you were in the kitchen. And I think that's so important actually to just remind ourselves we can look for the inspiration all around us whenever we're preparing meals for our family. And when we don't have that inspiration, we can go out and dine in our favorite places. Okay, so we talked about the soup, which you were very well known for. We know that you opened in August. How has the menu changed aside from, these other things where the market dictates and the situation dictates? How have you had to change the menu a little bit, from first opening until now? I'm sure that, it constantly evolves.
Of course. So there's two factors. First is the fact that when we open, we have one menu for feasibility, so we can have products that are consistent and done well until the team is trained enough that it can come always perfect. And then so we added some menu for that, so like the lunch menu and things like that. So that was a simple next step. But in terms of local crowd, we had to adapt some dishes. Some didn't react properly in terms of what people expect. Can be either too avant-garde or too old, so we had to adapt a few dishes. Overall, we changed about 70% of the menu. We tried
from the first launch.
From the first launch, in increments. Right now, we just changed the menu about 2 weeks ago. We added 5 more dishes, remove 3. We're trying to keep it under 30 items to keep all fresh products and all as sustainable as possible. But basically, that's what happened.
So some of those new items, will we see them today?
Yes, definitely. Excellent. Some haven't been on camera or photo or anywhere yet.
All right, so I searched the menu. I'm excited to see them. If you were going to say what people most come in for, I know we said lunch, and there are sandwiches for lunch. You serve all the way through till dinner, and then usually at night, people come in for drinks and things. What is your most popular dish on the menu?
I would say that's the Caesar salad.
Interesting. Okay, that has a little bit of drama when they serve it. So I think
there's a little bit of drama, but there's also a big twist to it. So that recipe, I also serve it in the restaurant in the north, but more simpler. There's less drama. But the thing is, the drama is actually a practical side, because when we serve it, it gives a smoky taste to it. So the salad doesn't taste like a salad would taste. It's more, it's still healthy, but more taste.
So for those of you that like salads but don't like salads, this is the salad for you. Okay. So you mentioned the restaurant up north. So this is obviously not your only project or your only baby that you have here. I know you just had a baby too, but tell us about the other restaurants or the other projects and some future plans. I mean, this is not just it for you. I know you have a vision. I know there's a lot of things that you want to do.
Yes. So step by step. Yeah. Restaurant in the north. So during COVID, I took over the restaurant in the north. We serve Filipino food because we're in the countryside.
Yes.
But we also serve some foreign food. We have some paella. We have other dishes. It's a Filipino chef there that works there from Baguio. And the idea is that the restaurant there is very different from this one. We have nipa huts. We have a big hole, Nara wood. It's beautiful.
So very Filipino.
Very Filipino.
Yeah.
You have to, because Isabela is very hot. So if you get something out of concrete, etc., it's gonna be so hot.
Yeah.
Like these, they know what they're doing. Nipa huts and stuff, lots of airflow, etc. So it's really well made for that.
And this is your wife's province.
Yes, that's my wife's province. Yeah.
So. Okay, beyond that, you have other plans, I know. I mean, even, for the pizza, the pizzeria. Tell us about some of those other things, because they're exciting. And if you are already a Somm's diner, I'm sure you would enjoy the other projects that you have in the pipeline.
Awesome. Thank you.
So,
would you like to do something?
Me? Okay.
You test. You're the star. Show us.
But you're the Somm.
Doesn't matter. I'm sure you enjoy wine.
I like it. It's lovely. Thank you.
This wine is from about 2 kilometers from where I'm from. The winemaker is a good friend. She's a good persona. She's a very strong persona, and she's very, very tough. And the first time she contacted me, I said, because I used to work for Aubuchon and they're selling the wine there. And so she calls and says, I said, yeah, I'll come visit you. You're right behind the Leclerc, which is basically the local supermarket, like just behind the SM.
Yes.
So it's like, oh yeah, I know where you are. You're just behind the SM, right? Like, that's such a, a terrible description to describe something like a vineyard and stuff. But then we laughed about it for years, and that was the great
And she
input.
became a good friend.
Yeah.
So, cheers to good friends.
Cheers.
It's nice and light.
Yeah, that's Sauvignon and Sémillon from Bordeaux. There's a really good balance and freshness. It's nice.
I could learn so much just sitting for one meal with you. It's fantastic.
I think you need to start your mini lunch.
Okay.
And someone will explain to you what it is.
That looks like escargot.
That is escargot. So this is one of the new ways to do snails. So we serve the classic snails that everybody likes. We're on the tray with the bottom beurre maître d'hôtel, the compound butter.
Yes.
And we have a couple of issues with that in the past, where when you serve that, you have to season the butter and put it in, and then you're going to let it rest, and so it's going to serve the taste. And it's very hard to find a balance that will work for what I would be expecting as someone that has tried it before many times in my life, and what someone that tries it for the first time would be expecting.
Right.
We used to add like rock salt on top, kosher salt on top, and not everybody is up to taste, so we had to twist it. So we came up with another version. This is made with Calvados. So Calvados is an apple alcohol and Granny Smith apple. So it gives a little acidity to it to combat the richness of the sauce.
All right. Can we try it?
Of course, go for it. That's the reason it's there.
I'm ready. So would you take this in one bite, or?
I would recommend one bite for
Yeah?
it. That's why we made mini tarts, so that it's,
Okay.
one bite
Oh, there's the nest.
after.
So the escargot was buttery, creamy. The pastry was flaky. It's so much better than serving it in. We just had. Also, it's so much better, and it's a little bite. Although, I don't know how graceful I looked while I was eating it, but it was delicious.
That's all that matters at the end, that you enjoy it.
It was delicious.
And that would work great with that too.
It was yummy.
And while that happened, we had another arrival. This is the egg nest, so the one we talked about. So the base, we have a cream that we made with black truffle from the southwest of France. Then the outside is kadaif. Kadaif is a specialty from North Africa. It's usually they make sweets with it. They put with honey and they
Yes.
make it into a sweet tray that are, in French we say étouffe chrétien. It's so stuffing, and so you need to drink a gallon of water after. And we decided to hijack that and make it salty. So no honey here.
Yeah.
We use it as a base. We shape it with these young sprouts, gravlax salmon. That's also homemade. Everything there is, and then the egg.
And
So
it's pretty.
that's the purpose.
And it's pretty. It's got the flowers and the caviar and a little bit of gold leaf too.
Yeah. The caviar is from Russia. It's a 20-year-old caviar.
Wow, super special. I have no idea how to eat it. Are we
So,
going to have it? Are we going?
I'd recommend that you just.
It's just mine.
Yeah, I guess just go for it. Go for
I'm
it.
gonna
Just
put it in front of me.
yeah, you should put it in front of you and just go for it. I've had it many times already. And the plates are local too. These are made in Antipolo. Those, all of that.
Oh, fantastic. Antipolo, is that?
It's east from Manila. It's
Okay.
about, depending on traffic, let's say 1 hour or 10 hours away.
This spoon.
Yeah, just. I think knife is
need a
great.
spoon and knife
It's
is
gonna
good.
be runny because it's an egg, but it's okay.
You're laughing at me. Oh, this is gonna be yummy.
So that's the perfect egg is cooked. It's a technique where you cook it sous vide
Yes.
at 63 degrees. Well, you can go from 62 to 65, depending on consistency. But 63 is great for perfectly cooked white, and the red is the yellow
Nice
is ready.
and runny.
Exactly.
Is there anything better than runny eggs?
2 runny eggs.
Too?
I love that one.
Just a hint of truffle. You have the crunch and the creamy egg. Oh, and the salmon with the caviar. Is someone coming in for a bite?
Shoot. You can.
It's delicious. I now know why this is many of the photos that I've seen. Yummy.
Try with the sprouts also. It gives another crunchiness, another type of
With it.
crunchiness. Yeah.
Okay.
That earthy vegetable earthiness, and it works really well with it.
So, did your wife enjoy these dishes as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. She's the one that made the booking for Soler, for the free Michelin guy.
Oh, how nice.
Told me,
Okay.
we're going there. Okay. I had plans. I had a meeting at the farm. It's okay. We'll cancel.
So when you guys are at home, who does the cooking? Do you enjoy cooking? Like home cooked food, of course, is a completely different beast or animal.
That's the touchy subject, isn't it? Well, first there's the matter of hours, because the concept of hospitality business means that hours are off. You're never going to be able to
Right.
enjoy all the way. And then I think we cook when we can. sadly, it's not that easy, especially between two busy professions.
Right.
So at the end of the
She's
day,
a doctor.
yeah. So at the end of the day, you have to make compromise of what work you do.
Okay.
I'll get one too.
Did you always want to be in, this hospitality industry, or what drew you to the kitchen initially?
So, that's a good question. I was always been drawn to food. When I was younger, I wanted to be a food critic. I really wanted.
That's a thing.
I saw this cartoon at the time, and the guy could go anywhere, eat for free because he was a food critic. I was like, that's what I want to do.
So as a kid, that's what you wanted to do.
That's what I want to do. Definitely, please. So I researched it. You need to do journalism, etc., etc. So, okay, let's see. Anyway, I was young, like 8, 9, and my mom used to cook a lot. They had a restaurant. My dad way before I was born. Way before I was born, so I wasn't there. So she used to cook a lot at home. So I lived in the countryside, so all the dishes were local. We had quite nice dishes, but yeah.
So she was your kitchen inspiration.
Well, yeah, she helped me in the kitchen, like to discover, etc. So when I moved to Paris when I was 14, I went to culinary school.
As young as 14?
That's the age in France, like 14.
Wow,
it's after
I never
the high
knew
school.
that.
And then, but the thing is, life in Paris is much tougher. So I used to work at the same time after school, and yeah, like scaling fish at the restaurant and stuff.
So you've been doing this pretty much your whole life. I mean, if you started in the kitchen at 14, then this is more than a job. It's like it's who you are. From the food to the wine.
Are you done with this, or you want to keep it?
Thank you. I did want to keep it, but I'll share. Okay, so this is a twist. The dishes that we've had definitely were French and maybe even African in the, what did you call the?
Kadaif.
Kadaif. My daughter used to make something with that, the kadaif, when you guys went to cooking class also. You wrap the chicken with it, right? I remember she brought something home that she made. But this definitely looks Pinoy inspired.
Definitely. So that's our take on the lumpia.
Okay.
Lumpia, I sell in my current area. 3 pieces for 20 pesos. It's basically, it's a dish that's...
Spicy vinegar.
Exactly, of course. Of course. So with that in mind, what makes a good lumpia? So lumpia is usually vegetable, right?
Yes.
Unless it's a Shanghai. I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I think lumpia should have meat and vegetables.
Okay.
A bit more
Balanced.
like it should be balanced. So this is a duck confit and foie gras lumpia. So the thing is, for the base, we have a bit of mash to gives it that softness with the foie gras, and then you have a bit of onions and cabbage in it with the truffle cream.
Okay. Wow.
So they ran in.
This looks amazing. So it's...
Just go with your fingers. It's a lumpia. It's a lumpia. You go with the fingers.
I'm trying to be a little graceful here.
Lumpia
And
doesn't
the
entice you for
sauce,
that. That's a
and-
truffle cream.
This is truffle cream as well. So this is duck confit and foie gras.
Yeah, it's a different type of truffle cream. The other one is really based on truffle.
It's so good. You would like this. Perfect.
Yeah.
Delicious. Okay. So is this... I didn't see many Filipino-inspired items on the menu. Would this be the star when it comes to?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dishes that are Filipino-inspired. We all have other countries to represent. We have Thailand, we have Japan, we have Spain, we have Italy, we play with other countries. We have a tacos now.
Oh, you'll start tacos.
Kare tacos. It's not for today. It's for next time.
Okay. Or maybe later for dinner.
No, it's not on the menu yet. It's coming. We're in December and we'll put it back next month.
Okay.
Right. And
This
now,
looks
now.
interesting.
So this one is from Baguio, the wood. It is.
Okay. I have one of these too.
Yeah, I love those. That's so many nice products. Let's go. Let's open it.
Tum, tum.
Turututum. This is the Caesar salad.
Wow.
So this Caesar salad
Smoky.
is smoky. Cherry wood from Japan, and then on top we put serrano ham instead of bacon, instead of chicken. We go for serrano ham.
And you can really smell the smoky. So you said it was cherry wood?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a cold smoke, meaning that we do not cook it, and that allows to give it. It's a salad. You still will need to be crunchy.
Right.
Want to be
Look
cooked.
at that. You can go ahead and,
Don't be shy.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
put this one. This is the most important thing.
of course, otherwise we're not going to be able to eat it. So it's definitely not your average Caesar salad, guys. That smokiness. Chef,
So
can I serve you?
yes, please. The salad is actually one of the rare products that doesn't come from us,
Okay.
because there are some great farms that does awesome salad like this one.
Okay.
It can be super fresh, super crunchy, and very, very happy to work with awesome products.
Yeah.
The problem with our farm in Isabela at the moment is that it's gonna be never crunchy if we bring it here.
Right.
So
The
that's why
travel.
we're opening one in Tagaytay for that.
Such a different take. You really can taste the smoky feel.
So the crouton is our leftover baguette.
Zero waste. So there was this time, everybody was about nose to tail, nose to tail, nose to tail. I'm sure, as someone who appreciates and understands, of course, cost, but scarcity and making sure that everything is not gone to waste. How much of that incorporates, or how much of that influences how you prepare the menu and what you serve?
I have a great example for that too.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Great.
So we serve rabbit.
Okay.
And rabbit is a very controversial dish.
Yes,
because
it
rabbits
is.
are cute, right? I mean, everybody likes a cute animal.
It is.
But it's also very tasty.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I like to eat it. We have 3 dishes actually on the menu right now. So that might be a lot for rabbit, but it allows us to use every part of it. So we do a stew with the small parts, with pasta. We do skewers with the main parts, the tenderloin, etc. And then we have the leg part that we use for the dish that we'll present later.
So we're gonna have it later.
Yeah, that's one of the fusion dishes we have actually. The thing is, as much as possible, we would love to be able to use everything that we have.
Right.
Philippines is actually a very good example from it. The mascara, the pisne, etc.
Right.
We have a dish where we make a pisne tonkatsu.
Okay.
So we
Say that again.
pisne tonkatsu.
Ah, okay.
So it's the jowl of the pork that we fry.
The jowl.
Yeah. We make it
Which is supposed to be, the cheeks are supposed to be the best part, right?
Yes, it's the most tender. The fat is very good for you. It's a very healthy fat. So we press it like a head cheese in France, and then we're gonna fry it like in a light batter.
Okay.
And that's basically. So we try to use everything. I think Filipino is a good example of that because they eat every part.
Yes.
And that's
have
what we're trying to do.
I have a comedian friend, throwback to Rex. He actually said that if the Filipinos could deep fry the soul of the pig, we would enjoy it and serve it in a creative way as well. So yes, nose to tail, very very important.
Yeah.
So
But French is also like that. We eat the tail, we eat the nose, we eat every part of the pig. Huh?
yeah.
We love that.
Italians too.
Yeah.
Actually, the first time I tried rabbit, I was 14 or 15 when I went to Italy. Mom brought us to all the different vineyards and all the different winemakers that she was working with at that time.
Nice, mommy.
And yes, very nice, mommy. She loves good food and good wine too. And we tried rabbit. After all of the courses, it was a 10 or 12 course meal. I was way too young to be enjoying something like that. Like I could not appreciate it. And I remember I felt bad when I heard that it was rabbit because it was the first time that I was served rabbit. But there's so many things that, when you travel and you understand the different ways the products can be brought to the table, of course.
But Italy's so tough with that because they have like appetizer, first course, second course.
Yes.
How can they stay so thin and eat so much? Like, how can pizza and pasta be a first course? I mean, how? Like, how can you go for a fish or a meat after you had like
that?
It's not possible.
Yeah.
Like, and a starter before and dessert after.
Okay, so
How can you walk out of table?
So how can you? So, you mentioned pizza, pasta, you married a Filipino. Would you say that you prefer potatoes over potato? Well, I know you prefer bread. You would prefer baguette over anything else, no? Bread?
Potatoes, I think, would be a bigger winner.
Potatoes before
I love
rice?
That's a definite yes.
Yes, potatoes
I like
before
rice.
pasta.
We're almost there. I think we're almost there. I think my favorite baguette is going to be one with cereal seeds. That's the one I would always go for. But it can be with. You don't have to say or.
Right.
Why
this is
choose?
true.
Why choose?
Why have to choose, right?
Here,
Why do we
here.
have to choose?
Here's some baguette. Here's some butter. This is French butter
Very
from
good butter, I
Normandy.
am sure.
Voila.
Yeah.
And there you go. So the baguette is made here. And yeah, that's it.
So do you guys bake your bread, or you
Yes.
have to do?
Yeah, we bake our bread. We have different types of bread. We have sourdoughs, we have baguette, we have pastries also.
Oh, that's part of the patisserie.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it's kind of part. Yeah,
because it's all baking.
Yes.
So what can we look for? I know when I checked out the website, there's croissant and
So we have croissant, pain au chocolat. We have some chocolate twist. It's like it's a thin, crispy pastry that we twist with the chocolate and the custard in the middle. So it's very good. But yeah.
my weakness is bread.
Yeah, me too.
It is bread. My weakness is bread. I can say no to
It's okay, no one's
rice
perfect.
any day. I can turn away rice. Bread I will take over potatoes, I think, and even pasta.
I like rice with certain dishes.
Well, with okay.
A blanquette with boeuf bourguignon. No, boeuf bourguignon made pasta, but with a blanquette, rice is awesome. Blanquette is we make it with veal. Here we do it with chicken because veal here is very hard to get.
It is very hard to get here.
We have a veal chop on the menu, but
I noticed.
besides that, we don't carry anything else because the importer only sells certain parts. In blanquette, you need a fatty part so it doesn't become dry. So we do it with chicken. And this goes super well with rice. The rice and the mushroom together.
So there's something for everyone.
Yeah, there is.
All right. So what do we have here?
This is the mortadella pizza. So we had fun in Philippines because
Love
here
mortadella.
I arrived in Philippines and all I see is a lot of American pizza, Shakey's,
Yes.
Yellow Cab, etc.
Yes, which is not really pizza.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean
not pizza in the current sense.
Yeah.
Can you please slice it, Erwin, please?
Thank you.
Thank you.
It looks delicious.
So yeah, and I miss that Italian way, which is you let the dough ferment for 2 to 3 days. So I reached out to Giovanni, which is a pizzaiolo.
Yes.
He was world champion in Italy and in France, in 13 and 16. And he worked in Philippines before for a short time in Palawan.
Okay.
And he was interested in coming back, so we discussed and brought him here.
So you knew him beforehand?
No, I didn't. I knew one of his friends that was also a world champion, and that's how we got in contact. But I didn't know him before.
So this is pizza made by a world champion piazzolo
Thank you.
with my favorite pistachio mortadella.
So yeah, mortadella with pistachio, stracciatella. Stracciatella, is the center of the burrata. Fresh tomatoes from our garden, arugula, and a tomato base, of course.
Looks fantastic. Will you have some with me?
Of course.
Okay.
How can I
So
say no
like-
to pizza? Allow me. You want me to serve you? You can do it.
I can do it.
Go for it.
There we go. Perfect.
Nice. That's a nice slice.
It's got a little bit of everything. There's some balsamic glaze on
yeah.
top. which I love also, and the stracciatella.
Yeah, the balsamic is a balsamic reduction. So it's an aged Vedanic. It's 1978 balsamic from Modena.
Beautiful. From Modena. Is there balsamic from any other place?
There is, but sadly, you cannot compete with Modena. So,
one of our neighbors, one of the kids who used to play in my yard and at my house, video games and everything else, his name is Nicolo. He's German, no? He was German? He is. I mean, he's German.
Is.
He's German Filipino. He's German Filipino, and he went to Enderon, and his internship is at Massimo's.
Oh, nice.
Yes. When we saw him on the feed, of course, like, we enjoy, my kids love food, and, we compare and follow the different chefs and the different trends and things. And who saw him? I think it was Gia saw him on the stories of the restaurant. And we were all like, hey, this is like one of the kids who used to be running around my neighborhood, and now he's there doing an internship.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like how incredible the experience for him. I'm sure, I guess that actually says something. It speaks volumes about Enderon and the types of internships that they get for their students. And he stayed on. No, he stayed on and works there now. So he must be doing well.
Good for him.
I'm so proud of him. We should reach out to him.
Yeah, definitely. Because getting a booking there is a nightmare. It took me like 7 or 8 months in advance.
Wow. I just love the story about him and how, like, what came out of the disaster of the earthquake and when
the Parmesan,
the Parmesan, right? And just how resourceful and everybody coming together. I think that's like the epitome of what a community is in terms of bringing people together and addressing something. So, and I'm sure here, even in Somm's, you're building a community, right? We were talking about the different types of diners that come in, right? Your menu is actually pretty, I mean, if you said you have about 30 things on the menu, but it's kind of, I could see my kids dining here as well as Nino and I enjoying, and maybe even my parents would enjoy a lot of my dad would love this pizza.
Yeah, we go from burgers to, so we have a A5 Wagyu burger.
Right.
We have a chorizo burger. So we try to have fun for people that want to try something
different,
a little bit more comforting, and bad sauce, but the proper one. So we have a really nice bun, etc., etc. A salad that everybody can eat, but not everybody would eat salad, sadly. So,
but this is a salad that you would like. I mean, if you don't like salad and you try something like this, it's crunchy. It's got all the components, and the smoke just blows it up.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's yummy. I'm excited.
Okay, let's go for the main course now.
All right.
If pizza was the primo, now let's go for the secondo.
I'm ready.
Okay, so
tell us about the dishes.
We have one crowd's favorite and one new.
Okay.
This is the lamb ragu pasta.
Okay.
The fresh parpadelle with lamb that we simmered in Moroccan type of spices, with herbs, basil oil. So we have a ton of basil in our farm, so we cannot use everything.
Right.
So we make pesto, we make oil, etc. with it. And this is the rabbit.
Okay.
So this is a rabbit leg. So all the rabbit are about 2.8 to 3 kilos. So these are big rabbits. With a bagong rice.
Yes. Oh, bagong rice.
And
so you do have Filipino dishes. It's not mostly European.
It's fusion.
Yeah.
And lain. We made a lain sauce. So we made a lain that we extended into a sauce. And we're going to get a little bit of red wine with that. That's coming in a minute.
Great. Yes. Thank you.
Can I have the bowl? I'll just open it. It's okay.
All right.
Thank you.
So this we would serve with the red. I'm excited to try the lamb ragu. And the pappardelle, do you make it fresh also?
Yes, it's fresh pappardelle.
Okay.
It's made into a lab.
Maybe you could leave for serving as well.
Yes. Can you have serving spoon? Thank you.
I was a little nervous.
Yes. Camera makes him nervous. It's okay. Thank you. And maybe a knife. Can you get a
Yes,
steak
a
knife?
knife and
A
a
steak knife for
fork.
the rabbit, so it's easier to share.
Yeah. I'm excited for these.
Madam.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
I missed the part.
It's all right. So
This is a wine from France. It's a Syrah. So Syrah is a blend Shiraz for Americans. So Syrah from the Rhône Valley. This is Colline Rhodanienne from François Villard. So it's the north of the Rhône Valley. It's just underneath Lyon and on top of Marseille.
That's lovely. I like that. So smooth.
And please dig in.
All right. I'll go
Try
for
with the
pasta
pasta
first
first,
because
yes.
it's here.
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Thank you, Erwin.
Okay. And I get a little bit of the lamb.
You should. That's the best part.
Yeah. I'll take all. And then, shall I serve you?
I'll help myself, don't worry.
Okay.
Thank you. And the Parmesan we're using, since we're talking about Osteria Francescana,
yes.
is the 36-month-old Parmesan that comes from Italy, of course, but from the same producer
Ah, okay.
that they use.
So one of the dishes that my son enjoys making is he makes his own pasta too.
Nice. That pasta is it's not hard to make, sorry. It's not hard to make, but it takes dedication because you want to get them nice and flat. Otherwise, it's too thick and it's not so nice. I'm just cutting a little pieces because
Thank you.
it might be messy
Yeah,
otherwise.
just a little bite I think is good. So
There you go.
the pasta is done perfectly.
And please try the background rice. Tell me what you think.
I will.
And the laing.
Thank you for slicing.
You're welcome.
So laing is my husband's favorite dish. And
Let's see how you like
Yeah.
it. That's a test. Does he usually eat laing?
Nina loves laing. I've never actually tried to make it though. I feel like I see the dried leaves and
Yeah. So we really, how do you call that? We really bring it to a sauce
Delicious.
type of thing. So it's really light. It's not too strong, not too dominating.
there's little crunchy bits. Is that like tutong in the fried rice or
In the fried rice.
something that's crunchy? Oh, there it's in the laing. It's the
in
shrimp.
laing. Yeah.
The rabbit is tender.
So we sous vide the rabbit.
Very flavorful.
I didn't cut
So
it
good.
the way.
It goes well with the bagoong rice.
And is it dominating the background rice? Is it okay?
No, it's delicious. I feel like the rabbit has a little bit of an Indonesian. What's the spice? Is it lemongrass? No.
Yes.
It's lemongrass.
Yeah. We went for bacolod a little bit, like what we do with a chicken bacolod. We went for a little bit something a little bit similar. Not the same
Okay.
spices, but that's the same
Yeah.
type of brushing.
Okay. So it's like an inasal, but not really.
Yeah, exactly. We tried to bring a little bit of the inasal.
Oh, I'm so impressed. I love it. I'll try the wine. This one's really, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
I prefer red.
A lot of Filipino do actually, even though you know.
No, I
a lot of
didn't know why.
Filipino have little to zero interest in white. Really red is the one that they like. I don't know why. Usually whites are more accessible. Like it's a bit fruitier, it's a bit sweeter. If they want white, they want sweet. But otherwise, it's mostly red wine that sells here. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, you need for every palate, but I like a good white.
I like white also. I don't like the sweet though. I feel like the sweet gives me a...
But there's so many layers of sweet. You can have just a little bit of dried and a little bit, etc. And it depends with what you eat it.
We should do a wine episode too.
We can.
Should do a wine episode.
Actually,
that would be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Everything is delicious. So
Thank
we've
you.
gone from appetizers and escargot and salad, and then pizza, of course, made by a master piazzolo, and down to a lamb ragu, which I think is any kind of ragu that's stewed for that long over fresh pasta. Fantastic. And then to the Asian-inspired rabbit with bagoong rice. So really a wide breadth of what you offer here at Somm. So let's see. I think we have one more.
Let's remove this one first. Let's remove this one. Let's remove this one first.
Okay.
And let's go to the dessert. So for the dessert, we have one of the dessert on the menu, the new one. And we also have pastries. Okay. So we make pastries, so we asked to make a little basket so you can...
So we can see.
You can see.
So we can show everyone all the different items you could pick up. Normally for the pastries, when should they come in to pick them up?
Okay, so the best is to give us a heads up. Mm-hmm. So we bake it fresh.
Ah, okay.
That's the best time.
All right.
Because that's when you want to eat. That's when you want to eat it, right?
Of course, when it's fresh.
I didn't use that.
Thank you.
I'll reuse it.
So exciting. Okay, so after you serve dessert and we see the pastries, I have this like fun little rapid fire thing that I've been doing, and I was thinking that I wanted to keep it the same questions for everybody, so I tried making it chef friendly versus layperson like me who likes to eat friendly.
No problem. Chefs likes to eat too.
Yeah, well, yes, of course, but there's so many things that I think, my level or my standard in terms of being in the kitchen, of course, as a homemaker or a mom who likes to serve good food, of course, is different than. But I think
I think you're giving chefs too much credit. I think everybody's human beings, and at the end of a long day, will end up in the same types of restaurants.
Well,
trust me.
Restaurants that find comfort, restaurants that you can find comfort in, but of course be brought back to different memories. Or this looks so interesting.
So I love a good lemon tart. I love tarte au citron meringue, so with the meringue on top.
Yes.
I used to work in Drouan, and the pastry chef, I would always sneak there on the second floor, and I was good friends with him, like on purpose, of course. And I would sneak some, and eat some, and he had an awesome recipe. The secret for me is not sweet.
Yes.
Because meringue is sweet, they make the cream sweet, and then the crumble is sweet. So we destructured it.
Yeah.
We decided we always put the tart at the bottom. Now it's going to be the meringue. The meringue is at the bottom. We torched it, and then we're going to put a crumble in our crème pâtissière on top.
Yes. Oh, this looks so interesting, and it's pretty, guys. So it's a deconstructed lemon tart that, and I agree with you. You don't want it too sweet or really sweet. When it's a lemon tart, whenever it's citrus, Chi and I will agree there. I think it's also a very Asian thing to say too, when you're like, oh, it's not too sweet, it's good, because you don't like it too sweet. Sometimes the sweet is overpowering. And the deconstructed, so is this a shortbread crumble or?
Kinda, it's a classic crumble.
Okay.
We're gonna make it out, then we break it into let's say 1/4 of an inch pieces. But yeah, it's what you would use if you want to do a crumble, basically.
So we're just gonna dig in?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm just gonna dig in, get all the components, and a little flour to boot, so it's pretty. Tart and tangy, just the way I like it. Deconstructed, very fun to eat with friends at the table. Okay, so we've gone from apps to dessert. Tell everyone where they can find more information about Somm's table.
Facebook, Instagram, the website.
Right.
You can call us. You can. There's a lot of ways.
Right, so-
Even send an email if you're old school. No problem. We'll
If you're
answer.
old school, you want to send an email. So somms.ph is the website. Somm's table, Somm's_table on Instagram, and of course, you know, they're right down here in Makati. You can come by. They open at 11.
Yes.
While we're waiting for the pastries, we can close with the pastries, but let's do a little rapid fire.
Okay.
Okay. So, who is the biggest kitchen influence in your life?
Eric Fréchon. Eric Fréchon.
Ooh.
Eric Fréchon was my chef when I worked at Le Bristol. So Épicure is a 3 Michelin star chef. The problem, I worked for a lot of very big star chef.
Yes.
And French is very old school, like some fruit, pan at me and stuff like. It's old school. Eric
So it's
Fréchon.
really like that.
Old school, yes. Today it's a bit different, but yeah. Eric Fréchon was very, very nice. Like he was strict.
Yes.
He knew what he wanted,
Yes.
but he was a genuinely good human being, and that's something that I really appreciated because it's not easy.
Right. You mentioned that earlier. We're all human. That's something I've said many times, even from my kids. You know, you just got to remember how to be better humans. Favorite food as a kid?
Lasagna,
Is it still your favorite food?
yes.
Favorite cuisine as an adult?
Japanese.
Japanese. You know, Japanese is actually a favorite of lots
Yeah,
of guests.
but not sushi, not etc. Japanese in general. Breakfast food, small pickled ingredients, fish, etc. So much more than what Western world knows about Japan.
And it's always balanced, like the teshuku.
That's what's awesome about it.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, what color is your kitchen at home?
Red.
Favorite pastime when not cooking?
Sleeping, I guess. No, I guess reading. I love reading.
Okay, reading. What's the last book you read?
The last book I read was 1Q84. Murakami. It's Murakami. It's a twist on the 1984.
Fiction.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not fiction. It's science. It's
Science fiction. Science fiction.
It's what could become.
Okay. What's your comfort food?
I love a good burger. I die for a good burger.
Okay.
But it needs to be good. It's hard to find.
Okay. Does that mean that you end up making your own good burger?
Yes, and that's end up that we're gonna start making in 2 months. We're gonna have a full burger menu for takeout.
Fantastic. Okay. What's your signature dish?
My personal, the chocolate tart.
Ooh, we love chocolate tart.
The 3-layer chocolate tart. It's really nice.
Music in the kitchen, yes or no?
Definitely.
What's
but
playing?
not during the service.
Not
before.
during service. What's playing?
Depends on everybody. Usually rock,
Okay.
but it can change.
2 foods that go together but don't go together.
That's complicated. 2 food that
hard.
doesn't go together should go. I think the snails is a good example of the apple and stuff. That's a good example of what I would think.
And they totally went together. It was so good. Any kitchen or dining accessory that you collect? I'll go first. I collect salt and pepper shakers.
Wow, just like Margarita.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, she does also. Not really. I mean, knives. I have a lot of knives, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, chefs would. I would think that a chef would say knives.
Yeah.
What's your go-to lazy dinner that you would cook if you're hungry and you're like, oh, I'm so tired, but I want to eat?
That's so easy. I'll go for some pasta, chicken, mushroom pasta. Just pop an onion,
One
bit of
pot.
mushroom, reduce it, put your chicken, light broth and cream, and that's it. Pasta, it's done.
You're on the sofa watching a movie. What's on your snack board?
Depends on the hour, depends on the time. Right now, having blue cheese popcorns.
Wow, blue cheese popcorn. That's yummy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I like meat and cheese and maybe a little tomatoes, some bread.
That's fancy.
Depends.
I don't have that in my kitchen. I have that at here. when I go home, there's yeah.
What's one kitchen gadget you cannot live without?
Ooh,
Besides knives, because of
that's-
course that's a given. The chefs
Yeah.
have their knives.
I'd say the mixer.
Okay.
You lose so much time, you lose so much technique you cannot do without, and that's so good.
Okay. Favorite food memory as a child?
Foie gras pasta. My mom used to make foie gras pasta, yeah.
Wow. Savory or sweet?
Savory.
Milk or dark chocolate?
Oh wait, so chocolate, right?
Yes.
Dark chocolate, okay.
Okay. Spicy or sour?
Spicy.
Kare-kare or adobo?
Curry, curry. Of course. What could go wrong with peanuts?
Tapa or tocino?
Tapa, I guess.
Not big on Filipino breakfasts?
I would love, but I wouldn't do the tapa like that. I love a good tapa, but good meat. That's a problem.
Yes.
Tocino's too sweet.
Yes. All right. So it looks like we have...
Pastries.
Yeah, tell us about the pastries.
So, the hardest part about pastries is the butter, because it all depends on that. So we get French butter from a place in Normandy, and butters are really, really, really nice. So it really gives that big taste. If you eat a brioche and if you don't have a good butter in there, the brioche is going to taste like a milk bread or something like that.
Right, right.
You really need to find a good balance. So if ever you want to have a bite, tell me what you think. And I
I'm
think
going to go
that's a
for
bit-
this mini pan au chocolat because
Go
that's
for
my
it.
favorite, of course.
So yeah. So we sell them actually now in Salcedo Market in the morning, Saturdays.
Thumbs up. Delicious. So that's a wrap. If you guys want to come down and visit Somm's table, you can find them here in Bolano in Makati. You can look for Antoine. Try some of the escargot or even that smoky Caesar salad. You have a choice of European dishes all the way to Filipino as well, deconstructed desserts, great croissant and breads. Even the French bread is baked here as well. Cocktails for when you want to hang out in the evening. Music, of course, and great wine, because we know you have curated the wine here. It's part of your personal collection as well as it's something you're very passionate about. So you want to ask questions about wine or learn about more wine. I don't know which one to pick up. I like the red more. So
It's got the red. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you
you.
for having us.
My pleasure. Enjoy. Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, keep cooking, keep sharing, and of course, keep safe. See you next week. Thank you.
Bye-bye.